Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. After the 2022 general election, William Samoei Arap Ruto and Kenya Kwanza government formed the government. And as part of the coalition agreement, Moses Masika Wetangula was appointed as the Speaker of the National Assembly. That appointment was actually intended to achieve an objective. Because remember, we have arms of government. We have three arms of government in the Republic of Kenya: the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. By appointing Moses Masika Wetangula as the Speaker of the National Assembly, what William Ruto did was that he simply made Moses Masika Wetangula a very powerful individual in the Republic of Kenya. And then later on, William Ruto also appointed his cabinet, and he named Musalia Mudavadi as the prime cabinet secretary. He made Musalia Mudavadi the kind of prime minister or the supervisor of all other cabinet secretaries. And that move was also intended to achieve certain objectives. It was intended to make Musalia Mudavadi very senior in government, and because it's a government appointee, it meant that Musalia Mudavadi was also not going to play politics, just like Moses Masika Wetangula, by virtue of being the Speaker of the National Assembly, cannot play politics. And that's why I began this video by telling you that in politics, nothing in politics just happens like that. William Ruto wanted to achieve an objective. He wanted to reduce the political activities of Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi with one aim of forcing them to merge their parties to join one major political party. But from all indications, Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula are not playing balls. So last week, if you are keen, Cleophas Malala led a delegation of defectors, in quotes, from the Luhya Nation to a meeting with William Samoei Arap Ruto at State House in Nairobi. That meeting caused serious political storm in Luhya politics, and none other than Boni Halwale raised the concern that someone somewhere was out to sabotage Mudavadi and to sabotage Wetangula. The truth of the matter is that William Ruto wants Mudavadi and Wetangula to fold their political parties. But Mudavadi and Weta have refused. So William Ruto is currently using his position as the President of the Republic of Kenya, and he's also using Cleophas Malala to try and force Mudavadi and Wetangula to fold their political parties. So in this video, I want us to ask ourselves one question. Is William Ruto's plan for a mega party crumbling down? And why is Wetangula and Mudavadi refusing to fold their parties? And what is the secret? What is the secret behind William Ruto's move to force Wetangula, Mudavadi, and to some extent the Maendeleo Chapchapudai, Alfred Mutua, to fold their parties? But before we get into all those, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. But before we dive in, allow me to thank the following people for the coffee which I received earlier. Thank you so much, especially Miriam. Thank you so much. And you can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Now, let us dive in and begin by asking ourselves one question. Why is Ruto keen on forcing all these other political parties to fold and form a major political party? Of course, when he was in Jubilee, that was also his original idea. Remember, in 2013, 2017, they went as TNA and URP. Then in 2017, William Ruto then engineered the merger. So we had almost 14 or 15 political parties merging to form Jubilee Party. And that's how Jubilee ended up being the biggest political party at that time. But of course, you know what happened. There was the betrayal. Ruto was kicked out. He formed this UDA. Then again, he's now the same because in 2022 he also went into election with UDA, Ford Kenya, ANC, Mandeleo Chap Chap. But now he's keen on forming one political party. Why do you think Ruto is keen on that? Number one is parliamentary control. William Ruto intends to control parliament in 2027. By controlling parliament, William Ruto wants loyal soldiers like the ones he has in Mount Kenya, because those ones he appointed directly. That's exactly what he's trying to do with Ford Kenya. And why would William Ruto want to control parliament? The truth of the matter is that William Ruto is definitely going to engineer parliamentary initiative, which is either going to change the constitution of the Republic of Kenya to allow him continue, or just to engineer certain changes in our constitution, because referendum might not succeed. If he has the numbers, he can easily do that. That's what William Ruto intends to do in 2027. So he intends to form all these political parties, merge all these political parties, so that every individual who will be elected in Western Kenya, all of them will come through his party or ODM. Remember, right now, there are those who are elected on Kenya, on Ford Kenya, some ANC, some UDA, some ODM. So William Ruto will not want a situation where his coalition are fielding different candidates and then reducing their chances of winning. He wants to control parliament. Number two, William Ruto also wants to control his succession politics. You can only control that if you have a party. Remember how Uhuru managed to frustrate Ruto using Jubilee. As long as William Ruto will manage to convince these guys to fold their political parties, then he's going to control who is going to win that ticket, so that by the time the others will be bolting out, it will already be late. Number three, William Ruto also wants to take control of the party. One of the mistakes Uhuru Kenyatta did, and I used to explain this severally, was to allow Jubilee Party to die. If Uhuru Kenyatta had controlled Jubilee Party, and for example, in Mount Kenya, he had like half of members of parliament, Ruto would not be doing whatever he's doing to him. So Ruto would not want to fall for a similar fate which befell Uhuru Kenyatta, where he's going to exit office, but he doesn't control the party. And I also think that it is part of his strategy to, can I call it campaign management? It's easier to control your campaign, if you have one political party than if you have Ford Kenya here, you have ANC party there, you have which other party? Sisi Asili huko, then you have Chama cha Maendeleo huko. So if you have one party, it means everything can be done centrally. But why do you think Moses Masika Wetangula and Mudavadi are opposed to that move? Because most people have always assumed that Ruto is actually intending to hand over the presidency to Musalia Mudavadi. Then if that is the case, why would Musalia Mudavadi decline such kind of an offer? Because it's going to work to his advantage. That is the question. The truth of the matter is that these guys are opposed to that move because of, number one, there is the political identity. If you remove Ford Kenya, do you have Moses Wetangula? If you remove ANC, do you have Musalia Mudavadi? In fact, someone was telling me, someone who is close to them, that Wetangula once told them that there is no way he's going to allow Ford Kenya to merge. He would rather leave anything, but not. Why? Because of the political identity. That identity is what they eat. So they need Ford Kenya, they need ANC party. Alfred Mutua needs Chama cha Maendeleo Chap Chap. Remove Maendeleo Chap Chap from Alfred Mutua. Who is he? Nobody. Perceptionally, he has a political party. You remove that party. Why do you think Moses Kuria is currently a cabinet minister? Because he had his party. Was it Chama cha Kazi? Which he really didn't even perform. But it allowed him to enter into coalition agreement. So that's the first reason why they're opposed. If they were to join Kenya Kwanza for these political parties, political oblivion, they're going to lose their identity. Number two, political relevance. The truth of the matter is that Wetangula prides himself as the leader of Ford Kenya. Mudavadi prides itself as the leader of ANC party. Alfred Mutua as the leader of Maendeleo chapter. So that during campaigns, they'll sponsor candidates. So Alfred Mutua will have like 20 candidates, 3 gubernatorial candidates. Weta will have like 50 candidates across the country, with the hope that Bungoma is going to seal. Musalia Mudavadi will field candidates in Western Kenya. You know, my party has. So if he doesn't have that party, who will listen to Mudavadi? Hope that he's going to be the presidential candidate? Because of that, they need that political relevance. Number 3 is what I call politics of betrayal. In this country, there's that history. People have betrayed each other. Uhuru betrayed Ruto. Mudavadi saw it. They can't allow that to happen. They fear. So they must have their political parties as fallback. Without that fallback, because they are not sure that if they agree to join, then when the right time comes after betrayal, they can form another political party. That is not even guaranteed. Number 4, there's the Raila Odinga factor. And of course, for Alfred Mutua, it's Kalonzo Musyoka factor. It's coming this way. In Western Kenya, there's a competition and there's Raila factor. Raila Odinga prides himself as the leader of Luhya Nation. So if, for example, you were to sponsor candidates in the Luhya politics, I mean, in Kakamega, for example, I think there are 7 parliamentary seats there, then Raila wins 2. I mean, Raila wins 3, Kenya Kwanza wins 4. Kenya Kwanza will have the majority. But who will have the factor that I control? Will it be Ruto? Will it be Mudavadi? Will it be Weta? Because of that fear of Raila factor, they cannot allow that to happen. And lastly, tribal politics. Our Kenyan politics is actually tribal. That is the fact. It's tribal in nature. So the Luhyas, Mudavadi, can only go to the Mulembe nation and tell them about being a Luhya. Sisi kama Mulembe, we need our party. He cannot do that if he will not be controlling a political party directly. Ladies and gentlemen, without those, this merger is not going to succeed. But is the merger good for Ruto or not? The truth is, with more political parties, William Ruto can reap advantages. But the disadvantages, in my view, far outweighs the advantage. In fact, I've always been thinking, for example, Raila and Kalonzo, why can't they just agree that they sponsor, both of them run for the presidency, Raila to consolidate Luo land, Kalonzo Ukambani, and they just mop up the country, then they go for election. And a rerun will be occasioned. And during that rerun, the person who will have the highest number of votes will be the one to be supported. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.